ceasefire in Syria is set to begin in less than 2 hours from now. Secretary of State John Kerry and Sergei Lavrov reaching an agreement to allow humanitarian aid to reach civilians who have been without it for some time in the ongoing civil war in Syria. A lot of concerns, though, about whether or not that ceasefire will hold. Conor Powell live from the Syria-Israel border with more on this today. Conor, welcome.
Well, Martha, not only will it hold, but will it even start? We're here along the Israeli-Syrian border, and we're still hearing the sounds of machine gun fire and seeing large explosions just behind us. The ceasefire here certainly hasn't started yet. In the last 72 hours or so, we've seen heavy fighting across all of Syria, particularly in that city of Aleppo, where the fighting has just been fierce for the last several months. Now, the broad outlines of this agreement that was backed by the U.S. and Russia calls for a halt of all fighting between Assad forces and the U.S.-backed rebels. Now, both the United States and Russia and also the Assad regime can continue to target ISIS and al-Qaeda-linked militants over and during this ceasefire. This is just a ceasefire between the Assad regime and the U.S.-backed rebels, not these other militant groups. The hope, of course, is to try to get some humanitarian aid into places like Aleppo that are in desperate need of food and water and medical supplies. Whether it will start is the big question, Martha. We've seen similar attempts to try to get these ceasefires going. Some of them have held. Many of them, if not most of them, have actually collapsed even before they begin, and some of them have collapsed after about 48 hours or so. So it does appear, though, that the main opposition group and the Assad regime are both willing to sort of start this ceasefire, but whether or not all the groups in the country will be on board and how long they'll be on board for is very much the big question, Martha.
We'll be watching. Conor, thank you very much.